Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make your car last for many, many years through many northeastern winters. What we're going to do today is we're going to put some Krown Undercoat on this thing. I have made videos about this in the past as well, but this is going to be a little bit more common video for your average car. I did my truck, which is a little different underneath, so this will be kind of more applicable to more people, I think. So let's get started. First things first, you're going to get yourself a suitable sprayer, undercoating gun. This is actually just a paint gun. Make sure your flow is good, which it is. Don't stand directly in front of your fan. And then we're just going to start from the front to the back, which is at least the way I like to do it. And then you're basically just going to reach up and hit every single nook and cranny that you possibly can that is some type of metal. Obviously this stuff's not going to help plastic, but it's also not going to hurt it. So we're just going to go up there and hit everything. There's not too much science behind this, it's just kind of spray and pray. Like in video games when you're a little kid and you suck at it. And you just sit there with a 249 saw and just start shooting at the enemy, you know? The enemy here is saw and rock. Now, taking down these heat shields is not a bad idea. However, on this car, it's really just the engine block under it. So there's not a whole lot of benefit to taking it off. Plus, there's enough holes that I can reach the gun in there. So there's really no need. So, any control arms and K-member like this have inside nooks and crannies. You definitely want to make sure you get in there. And if you look, there's actually smoke or the oil stuff coming out of the other side. So you're actually hitting this entire pipe, this internal area, just by going through these holes. Which works pretty well. This, again, rust likes to sit inside of stuff like this and start. Now, you can coat this, greatly improve your chances of not sending your vehicle to the junkyard due to rust. Also, the front suspension, make sure you get all the control arms. If you hit the back of the brakes a little bit, don't even worry about it. It'll just melt off after you hit the brakes a couple times. So I just hose this stuff down. I don't worry at all about hitting the suspension part. The brakes. All of these support members, kind of the pseudo frame rails, like this guy here and this guy, you want to make sure you get inside of all of these holes all the way down, because rust likes to sit in those as well. And the same thing for the rockers. They have similar access holes. You want to make sure you get the entire rocker panel like that. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll catch back up with you guys. You're all done. The best thing you can do, even if you want to set your gun down, is just go through and look at everything and look for any dry spots. If you see any dry spots, obviously touch it up. So I'll carry the gun and I'll just kind of get the flashlight out and just do a really thorough examination. Like, for example, there's a dry spot right there, so I'm going to hit that. Boom. We'll get up in there better, actually. You will find a lot of misses. Very easy to not hit everything in the first round. As far as wiring harnesses, like there's some up here, according to Krown, it actually helps preserve the rubber. So it's actually good to hit wiring harnesses, and it keeps corrosion out of them. So I would definitely recommend doing that. Whenever you see a harness, just spray right over it. I know some oil-based products don't allow it though, so make sure you know what you're using. One thing to keep in mind, you don't want to spray the exhaust any more than you have to. It will just like kind of melt off. It won't start on fire or anything, but it won't stay on there anyway. So it really just stinks when you're driving for the first 20 miles. So if you can avoid the exhaust, try to do that. Alright, once you're done underneath, if you're crawling around the ground, you want to do this, but if you're on a lift, you're going to bring the vehicle down. And we're going to bring it to about waist height so that we can do the wheel wells at the top of the struts. And then we'll eventually bring it all the way down and do it under the hood and stuff like that. But start off with the wheel wells first. Get in there. Now if you really want to get OCD about fender liners. I do that sometimes, but we're not going to do that today. If you get a little bit on the outside of the car, don't worry about it. It's not going to hurt anything, and it'll just give it that much more protection. You can wash it off and it springs back. Now on a car like this that has the body cladding, there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do under that, unfortunately, but you just gotta kind of spray the inside of the door, which I'll show you later, and get it the best you can, and it is what it is. Not much you can do about it. So we're getting that strut, getting all up in there. Brake lines, all the metal. And again, sky's the limit. The more plastic you take off, the better of a job you'll be able to do. So that's going to wrap up the bottom here. I like to hit the back of the gas door because these things rust sometimes, like right in here. So we'll just give it a little tooth. Makes a bit of a mess, but it's a trade-off. So now we're going to hit the bottom door lid, and we're also going to pop the hood. We'll get the hood open, and there's not a ton you're going to do under here, but I will show you where you want to hit. I'm pretty aggressive with this stuff. Depends on who you ask if you should even do it under the hood at all, but I'll hit anything metal. Right out of there. Hit your hinges, hit the top of your strut towers. I like to hit down in here. Does it make it a little bit of a mess to work on? Absolutely. Would I rather do that than have my car in the junkyard? Absolutely. I really want to get inside these fenders. This is nice and open, so we can just get it done and just load that up with ground, which is awesome. The entire inside of that fender now is getting coated. Don't worry about the debris. In a perfect world, clean it up first, but it won't really hurt anything. Hit your hood latch so your hood doesn't get stuck shut. Inside of the hood is all this to do. This part of the hood doesn't normally rust. You can give it a quick glance if you want. But I like to hit the front lip of the hood. Just nothing crazy, but as you get rock chips here, you'll start to get some rust. So if you hit that lip, so if you look right here, see how this is starting to rust? So that's why it's important to do the entire lip of the hood if you can. This gives it some more. Yeah. So that'll get us all taken care of under the hood here. We'll go ahead and close this and move on to the door. Now we're going to hit the bottom of the doors. I'll even do up to here. You obviously don't really want to hit the seal. It's okay if you do. We're going to hit that like that. Get your latch. And then what I like to do, I like to take a can of Krown and spray inside these drain holes. Then you can really get the inside of the door panel. And you'd be shocked. This stuff will run the entire length and really give you some solid protection. I'll just let it sit there and flow for a while until it starts dripping out. Now when I pull this out, it's gonna drip. And then I'll go ahead and do the front one as well. Some cars have 3 access holes or more. This one I think only has 2, but that's okay. It is a little better if you have more, but it is what it is. If you really want to get crazy about it, you can pull the door panels out. And I don't think that's a bad idea to do once or twice, but we're not going to do that today. Now I'll even take this inside the hinge, or the latch, if you can find a spot all the way through it, and you can kind of spray down the entire door panel, which I can't in this case, so I'll pop this little rubber guy off, and we can go inside there. The Krown dealers typically drill holes in your door panels to get more access. I'm not opposed to that, but I don't know.
I've never really found it necessary, at least on other vehicles I've done. If you use the access holes that are there, I feel like I can get good enough coverage anyway. By pulling this out, you know, I can hit all the key areas of the door that actually rust, right? A door doesn't typically rust halfway up, which is the lower end of it. So there you go. Simple as that. If you lube this up with the Krown, you can fit them back in. Sometimes they can be a pain in the ass otherwise. Same thing here. Pull these out. I'm just starting with the can because it's already in my hand. The order of operations doesn't really matter. Got one down here. This one's in a good spot because it'll let me get the entire length of the door panel, which is nice. You can see I was spraying in this direction and it literally started dripping on that side. So it just goes to show you how much this stuff creeps. It just gets everywhere, which is what you want.
And then we got a drain hole over here.
This stuff is good lubricant, and it'll make sure your doors aren't squeaky and that they open well. Also, hinges can get pretty rusty. Spray this down again, and that's pretty much it. It's also good to pull these out. There's a lot of high rust potential. Although this one, there's actually, okay, so this body panel has foam all in there. Unfortunately, they do that for sound deadening, but it means you're not gonna get any Krown in there. So we're gonna put that right back. Sometimes they do that, sometimes they don't. It'd be nice if you could coat all that, but you can't. So it is what it is. All right, lastly, obviously you're gonna do that on both sides. We're gonna go to the trunk. We're gonna kind of do the same thing. So we're just gonna hit this lip. These hinges. Now, there's a ton of drain holes or rubber boots here. I'm actually not even gonna bother pulling these because they never rot out up there. So it's really not gonna help me much. I mean, you could pull this one and spray to try to help get more Krown to the bottom, except there's a nice hole right here. So I'm just gonna spray in both directions in there and call it good. Again, you could also take the plastic off and spray it from the inside if you want to get really particular about it. It depends on how long you want to keep the car too. If you're trying to keep something forever, a lot of this is worth it. If you're just trying to get 5-10 years of good, clean, rust-free use, don't go too crazy. All right, everyone, that's gonna wrap this up. Your last step is gonna be to wash your dirty hands off. But we got the entire vehicle Krown. It's ready to go for this winter. So if you live anywhere north of like middle PA, let's say, probably very much worth doing. Or obviously if you're in the northern Midwest. So as always, with that being said, thanks for watching. God bless America, and I'll see you on the next one.